Here's some valuable information for your everyday life. D-Boss is a noob. Alright, 15-second mark, 1x speed. Let's go with Fog of War off from 5e, etc. point of view. Orc versus human, this time from the Orc's perspective. So we're at 15 seconds, and at least I am, And we see, the altars being built and whatnot. Nothing really special. So we're going to go ahead and do some unpausing now. So we're going to get this started, and we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I am indeed the king of corny jokes, GG. Okay, so the altar burrow is the standard orc build. I'm sure you all pretty much know that. The reason you can't change that build around is because you'll actually be at pretty much 10 food with peons by the time that burrow finishes, and you have to get your hero in there. And so right here you see he's going to be making a barracks, and he puts the barracks up there, and sort of just a general sort of forward spot that's not sticking out. The reason for its positioning, as you look for it, is the altar is protecting the peon line to an extent. Also, it's right next to the peon line, so he can immediately pull a peon off and get him there, so that he can mine gold a little bit faster. Sorry, he can start the altar a little bit faster, and I don't know where that came from. And he has just a little bit of protection. Now, the burrow positioning allows him to push off a little bit of harassment. If the human wants to come in and out, that burrow sticking right out there is a pretty good form of, saying, F you, go away. And the barracks is out there. It doesn't really protect the burrow, but it's just sort of out there as an imposing, yes, I can build units, F you, go away, kind of thing. Generally, it's there's no really specifics as to why the barracks is there. It's just a good position to, have it out front so your units rally in faster. It's not some big ominous decision, really. Anyway, you notice he's not making he's getting that other burrow in quick enough so that hopefully he can make a second grunt before his 20 food cap arrives. You notice he actually sent one off to wood before he put 5 on gold so that he could actually get that orc burrow in there faster. Now you notice it's a peon versus peasant battle right here. And I believe the orc player will win this because he has higher damage, more hit points. GG. So he's going to be using this mercenary shop soon and getting himself a troll. And you notice he went to 18 food so that he could actually get that troll. And look at that. How Gosu is that orc player. He saves the mercs and his worker. And now you're going to see that he's going to send the peon to patrol so that it doesn't clog that idle worker position. So that when there's actually an idle worker, it'll show it. And so that way his peon won't be a total noob. So you notice the peon's patrolling now. His farseer comes out, and as you can see, he's going right up to see his human opponent. He already checked with the merc to see that he wasn't to the right, and just judging by sort of the time at which, a peon could have showed up, and that the peon showed up sort of from what side it was, he knew that his opponent was over there. There's no real sort of, oh my god, specifics, but it's sort of an intuition kind of thing. He just kind of knew that, okay, that's where he is. And so he scouted. I'm not sure if he scouted. I'm sorry, I missed that. If he actually scouted to the left, I missed it. I'm sorry. But he's sending the wolf back so it doesn't get hit. He hasn't lost any units yet since there's no free experience. And he's actually killed the tower. So, but guess what? Grunt's around. GG noob. So, guess what? Down goes the grunt. And down goes one militia. Big deal. So, right now, the orc player is kind of at a bad spot because he lost a grunt, and that's bad. However, he has the dispelling/priest, or dispelling/healing merc. Guess what that means? Dispel, GG1 water elemental. And look, he's got some more experience. And he's going to do it again. Because look, the water elemental's taking some damage. And then down goes the WE. Check it out. Up, dispelled. Noob. LOL. Alright. So, right now it's super farseer harassment with a little bit of mercs for fun. So they are both taking a tier 2. Orc player does have a slight advantage with that, and he's just pumping out grunt after grunt. His ally. His opponent is pumping out. Well, he's really not pumping out any footmen, and he's obviously not able to pump out any peasants, as he is, taking a tier 2. So right here, this is where the orc player has an advantage, because he can choose to kill anything he wants, because the human player can't exactly run very far. The human player is pretty much limited to staying around his base, or he runs off to the wilderness and gets, he could get owned by creeps. So the human player is not really in as good of a spot that the orc player is in, because the orc player has free reign to run backwards, and as you notice, I went over this in an earlier commentary, getting level 2 on the Archmage is a bad idea. And he loses the Shadow Priest, because there's not always so much you can do. He's not a very fast unit. He's not very durable either, so eventually you can kill the Shadow Priest. It'll just come in due time, so don't worry about it when you're getting harassed by Shadow Priest. Once he's used his 2 dispels, he's not going to have any more mana, really, so don't sweat it too much. And you notice the 3 water elemental kills and the 2 peasant kills. I think that was all it was. Yeah, that is. The 3 WEs and the 2 peasants has gotten him almost to level 2. And guess what? There's more peasants, so he's going to kill that, and he's going to get himself actual level 2. But guess what? The guy runs away. So when you're getting harassed and you're human and you're trying to save your peons best you can, the best thing to do is to send them off to the gold mine if they're getting hit, because that way they'll go inside the gold mine and turn invincible for a second, and your opponent, the orc player, will lose his sort of target sighting. He'll lose the lock on the unit, and you can usually get him pretty safe, because now that he's moving and he's in the middle of your base, it's pretty easy to pull a malicious around if you have to, and all that fun stuff. So you notice that that patrolling peon is allowing him to merc like crazy. You notice that he only has just a few orc units, but those mercs are giving him so much extra damage potential that he's already killed another footman. And he's trying to save that berserker. His berserker's kind of getting hit a lot. He's down 102 hit points. But he's in okay shape. As long as he keeps him safe to an extent, he'll be a lot of damage. So again, the Shadow Priest is very easy to kill. He has, less hit points than a militia. Sorry, more hit points, less armor than a militia. So they're very, very not durable. I think a militia could take one one-on-one, almost. Not exactly, but, it's in there. So, the Farseer is already level 2.5, and guess what? Here comes the Naga Sea Witch. Now, this is why I hate this map. Because, and a lot of Tavern maps in general, but this one especially, is because you're allowed to merc so easily, night and day, because you can just send them around. And you notice all these units that are coming in for the orc player. This was the level 49 human from the earlier commentary. This guy, the guy's not bad. He's not obviously the best player in the world, but he's not bad. The human, as being level 49, obviously. But you can see just how powerful this sort of harassment is. Human's doing very well. Picking off units, getting not spellbreaker, the berserker and whatnot. But he's forced to TP because of the Naga Sea Witch, and then orc player comes in and says, "You know what, die," and down it goes. So this is going to be a good game very soon, because the Mountain King is coming out, and this is what I was talking about in an earlier commentary about the essential units, is that the MK comes out, and this is when he pulls out his militia, and he says, okay, we have to turn this around now. So he surrounds a grunt, and he kills it as fast as he can, which is, well, pretty quickly. So that dies, and he's going to come after another one. He's going to go after either the Naga or another grunt. And he goes after a grunt, because it's not in the back lines and whatnot. However, he doesn't get a very good surround. His Forked Lightning is owning. The Farseer is back at home waiting for his shop, as you notice. And he's just kind of focusing down stuff with frost arrows and grunts and whatnot. And though he's lost most of his units now, he's always left with his grunt, pair of wolves that are about to dispel, and his Naga. It's just how much damage he's been able to deal right now. Because you notice how many actual peons are left. Let's see. Oh, about 3. And he's making more, and he has no money. And he says GG. So that's 7 minutes, 32 seconds is the replay time. That was some very effective Farsi harassment. And so the reason that works so well, as you saw, is that you're able to keep your opponent locked up. And yes, you'll gain some EXP with wolves, and it just depends on how you do it. If you get enough kills to counteract that EXP, then you're okay. If all you do is feed EXP, then you're not okay. And so, if you can keep pace with his leveling, then you're in good shape. And especially since he had the merc, the reason that his harassment worked so well is that he was able to get rid of the water metals so quickly. Normally they have so many hit points and really actually very good damage. Their damage is more than that of grunts, and they only cost just pure mana. That's a really valuable spell, and that's what humans are relying on to be able to actually survive this sort of early game harassment. As you saw, as soon as the Dispel Merc came into play and got rid of the WEs, you saw how pitiful human really did, because grunts completely own footmen. The only thing that keeps human in the game, early game, is really that water elemental. And the only thing that keeps him in the game past that mark is having Brains Aura to keep the water metals in. And it was just the orc player's smart intuition and smart tactics to get the Dispel Merc, and really just completely overwhelmed him, because he had the counter to everything he had. He had the grunts and the wolves to kill footmen and militia, and he could use them as well as the dispel to get rid of the water elemental. And so, really, that unit combination with the tavern and the not goblin merchant, not marketplace, mercenary camp, he's able to keep a steady flow of units coming in. I didn't check, and it didn't really matter if he had built a Spirit Lodge by that point, but you knew exactly when he got here too, when the Naga came out. And he just sort of, went all out from there, and being able to constantly harass is one of Orc's strengths, because the wolves don't cost much mana, and the Farseer has very good intel that he can keep summoning them for a long time. and being able to resummon to sort of dispel his wolves, you can deny some EXP that way. It's it's not a sort of, I'm trying to think of the word, all-encompassing solution. It's always better to actually micro so that they don't die, because the cooldown isn't like 2 seconds. That's just another sort of point that adds on. And when he was able to merc, I'm sorry I'm repeating this point, but it's really the reason he won, is being able to merc, wins you the games. And yes, there's going to be some other sort of lame games like this in my 24 game set, but I'm just coming through the I'm really coming through the Acon 4 China games, and these are people who play at a LAN event and they're confident enough to play against the best in China. I mean, that's a big pro gaming community if you realize they're second to Korea in terms of popularity. Also, there's the reason I like the TC. Another point is Lightning Shield plus Torn Chieftain with a speed scroll and being able to purge random things is really, really nice area of effect. It's really good damage. 20 damage a second is pretty sweet. Then you add in, you just add in the Shockwave and J Lightning and Panda. I think Panda is one of the best Orc heroes. He probably caters himself to Orc the best. He also caters himself to Human versus Fiends builds. But other than that, that's pretty much where he's used. So he's actually a very, very good hero that I like to use, when I get the chance and whatnot. So, alrighty, this will be Phreak signing out. So later.